Hey guys, Sean Terry here. We are back with another video for the PPC secrets, and we're talking about Wholesaling Explained. So if you're not have a full understanding of what wholesaling houses is, I just want to take a real quick for someone that maybe doesn't understand what wholesaling is, so you fully understand it. Now, I have multiple different courses that go in depth and in detail on wholesaling, what it is, from the lingo. I have a course called Escape Plan. It's literally an 8 week or 16 week? It's an 8-week course with countless videos that go through and explain in detail the process of closing deals and getting deals done in a local market. That's Escape Plan. I got Remote Millions that teaches how to do deals virtually all across the United States. So if you want to learn more about that, there'll be links below. Chris, if you could reference that, and links below on Escape Plan and also to Remote Millions. But here I just wanted to give you an idea of what wholesaling is, why it's so great, and why this course, PPC Secrets, is the most important aspect of wholesaling because it is lead generation. Wholesalers, or actually it's for all real estate investors, the main core part of their business is finding deals, right? You're looking for a deal. Whether you want to fix and flip a property, you got to get a deal, right? You're a wholesaler, you got to get a deal. Where's the next deal that you're going to get? Or if you're going to buy and hold, you want the next deal, so the next property you can work with. So getting the deal is the first and most paramount thing. And then the question becomes, well, where do I get the deal? Right? Well, you can knock on doors. I started knocking on pre-foreclosure doors, back in 2003. That's how I got my first deal. I went out and I had a script and I knocked on doors. I wouldn't suggest that now, right? I've had dogs, people yell at me and dogs chase me and people pull guns on me, and it's not exciting. What we talk about here in pay-per-click secrets, it's completely different, and it's 1,000 times easier because this is literally, you can set it up and you can spend less than about 30 minutes a week optimizing it, and you get leads coming in 24/7. So those leads come in, right? And as a real estate wholesaler, we do deals nationally all across the country. So as those leads come in, we talk to them over the phone. We find out their magic problem, and then we ask them what their asking price is for the property. And if it works, then we'll send them a contract, and we'll get that property under contract. If the property works, if the price works. If the price doesn't work, then we'll make them a counter offer and tell them why this is the price we need to be at. And either the number works or it doesn't. If it doesn't work, they go through a follow-up system. And if it does work, then we can send them a contract, get that property under contract, and then we're able to find a buyer. Now, so here's what we do. First off is that you have to get the property under contract first. So when a lead comes in from a pay-per-click advertising that we're talking about. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to explain pay-per-click advertising, what it is. Someone types in keywords into Google. I'm going to show you about the different keywords. But right now I just want to explain the process of wholesaling so you understand it. But a motivated seller, let's say they come from pay-per-click advertising, you talk to them on the phone, you send them a contract, they sign a contract. Now this contract is incredibly important, okay? Because there's a purchase price, there's a closing date on there, and then there's what's called out clauses. Now, why is this important? Because the seller can only sell a property to one person. And that is, let's say it's you sign a contract with a motivated seller. Now you control the equitable interest in that property. You control that property. Seller can't sell it to anybody else. That's not legal, right? They only can sell it to one person. Now you control that property. You have a purchase price, $50,000. You have a closing date, let's call it 30 days from now. And then you have what's called your inspection periods and out clauses. Now, they sign a contract. This is incredibly important contract. It gives you equitable interest in the property. Now, with equitable interest in the property, now you can talk to a potential buyer, right? And see if you can find a buyer that will buy the equitable interest in this contract, buy this contract from you via this agreement, which is an assignment agreement. And you're going to assign your contract to the buyer for a fee, a price, whatever that price is. So let's say theoretically you've got a property under contract with a motivated seller for $50,000, right? Contract for $50,000. There's a 30-day closing date, and you have your out clauses there, right? So now you talk to a buyer, right? And you find a buyer for the property. You can find buyers exactly the same way through pay-per-click advertising, if you so choose. We have other methods to finding buyers, but most of the buyers that we find come through realtors, right? We talk to some of the top realtors in any of these little markets across the country, and we ask them if they have any buyers, and they say absolutely, and they bring buyers to us, and we are able to assign or sell our contract to the buyer for a fee. Let's call it $10,000. So now the buyer, we can do an assignment for $10,000. So what happens? We get paid $10,000 and we sell our contract to a buyer. So first off, this can be done, anywhere across the United States except Illinois. Illinois is the only place you can't essentially wholesale unless you have a real estate license in Illinois that you can do it. So we stay out of Illinois. We don't target Illinois. But everywhere else, you can get properties under contract and you can assign your contract to a buyer in those markets. Now, I'm not going to talk about finding those buyers. We're primarily going to talk about the marketing to generate the leads through pay-per-click advertising. Now, with wholesaling, right? Wholesaling and the ability to assign your contract, you can get some smoking deals. Now, I'm going to give you a couple examples of some deals that came in from pay-per-click advertising. Actually, came in from pay-per-click advertising. We asked the seller, remember this is important from video 1 we talked about. We asked the seller, what's your asking price? They said X, and we said, and it either worked, it didn't work, or we countered. And all, the ones we're talking about, all the number worked. We gave the seller what they were asking for the property. We sent them a contract. They signed the contract, and then we sold our contract for a price, right? So check this out right here. Here's the first example right here. So in this example, this one is in Santa Barbara, California. Now, this one's Santa Barbara, California. It's on 166 Camita Way, Santa Barbara, California. And the gentleman seller's named Glenn. And Glenn, I met him personally, actually. At the time, I had my beach house in Dana Point, California, and I actually drove up to Santa Barbara with my 17-year-old daughter. We went up and met Glenn at the property. And then we had a nice little lunch and hung out in Santa Barbara. But anyways, the bottom line is Glenn, this was a property that he inherited. And he had a tenant in there that was doing drugs and wasn't paying rent. So that was his problem. And he got sick of dealing with it. He didn't want to deal with it anymore. He was moving from California to Arizona, up northern Arizona. He just wanted to be done with his property. Because it was so trashed, it was trashed pretty bad, and because these tenants were in there doing drugs, no one would help him. No one would help him. So guess what? He clicked an ad, right? Pay-per-click advertising, reached out to us, and we picked up the phone, talked to the seller, and asked them what they wanted. And guess what? Guess what he said? He said he wanted $548,000. I think it was $550,000. And we said, well, how about $548,000? He said, okay. So we got the property under contract. We signed a contract with him for $548,000. Then we turned around and we found a buyer, actually a real estate agent represented a buyer that purchased a property on the corner that fixed it up and was about to list it for $1 million on the corner. So we found that agent. The agent goes, yeah, he'd buy that property. It was a better location. It wasn't on the main road like this one on the corner. Ours was more in the neighborhood, and he's like, oh yeah, interested. So guess what? He turned around and offered $735,000. And that property, so $735,000. Let's just do the math on this, right? 735 minus, right? Minus 548 is actually $187,000 after all said and done on that particular property. $187,000 spread from a Google AdWords campaign, from someone who went on Google, they typed in the information, they found us, they called us, and we talked to them and we gave them pretty much what they wanted. These are the type of motivated sellers. They're gonna reach out to you that sell their house. Now let's look at this other one right here. Check out this. This is one in Bellevue, Washington. This is a 450 Northeast 31st Street, Bellevue, Washington. Todd is the seller. Yeah. Now this was a really nasty condo. If you saw the pictures of this inside, you would be like, ugh. Right now, we didn't fly up to Bellevue. But we sold the property. We sold it fairly quickly. There's really not a lot of inventory in Bellevue, Washington. So this lead came in, and the seller was embarrassed. Didn't even want anybody in the house. It just was absolutely embarrassed. Anyways, so we said, "What would you like for your property? What's your asking price?" There it is, the question again, right? And he said, listen, if you can give me $135,000, it's a deal. Well, we ended up getting it under contract for $130,789. I don't know how they came up with that number, but we ended up selling that property for $279,000 in a matter, and we're talking, from contract to close, about 15 to 16 days. So from contract, when the seller calls us off of pay-per-click advertising, highly motivated, wanted to sell the property, wanted to get rid of it, was embarrassed about it, didn't want to have agents or anybody like that over, and contracted it and turned around. So 15, 16, 17 days, got that deal closed. And we're talking $148,000 spread. That's $148,000 spread. Not bad. Now, let's check out this one right here. This is another recent one. Let me see. Oh, here's one. Okay, so I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. We do deals in Phoenix, and you're wondering, okay, how do I get local deals in my market? But I get, I don't have to spend so much cost per lead, and it opens up different areas. Okay, we got this deal. This came in, and the cost per lead was about $25. Just notate that. Cost per lead was about $25. So this lead came in, $25 lead. And this one is 1029 West Hopi Street, 1029 West Hopi Street, Avondale, Arizona. And Jason was the seller. We got this property under contract for $136,500. And we turned around and sold it for $249,000 in a matter of days. In a matter of days. It was such a quick deal. This deal we made on that one $109,953 was our final numbers on that deal. Just by selling our contract, those are our final numbers, $109,000 transaction off a $25 lead. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to wholesaling. So you can do the exact same thing with these leads coming in. They're highly motivated. All you got to do is talk to them. Ask them what they want. If the number doesn't work, give them a number that works for you. They either can accept it, they can decline it. If they decline it, it goes into a follow-up. When I can show you our follow-up system and how that works, it's very simple. The CRM we work with. And then they go through a follow-up sequence, and they're going to accept it or not. They're going to do something else. But you know what? There are a lot of people that are motivated in your market or other markets across the country that want to sell, and you make them an offer, and they say, or they give them your asking price, and you look at it and go, yeah, I can make that work. You send them a contract, you get under contract, right? And you can turn around and sell your contract and make spreads just like that. I mean, I could keep going here. You know, let me show you one more here. Check out this one. So this one right here is a, here's another one. Let me see. I'll do this one. This was in Colorado. Okay, this is 1112 Nantucket Street, Windsor. Now think about this, Windsor, Colorado. Now, Windsor, Colorado, this deal, we got under contract for $200,000, sold it for $261,000, and by the time we got everything all done, we made $60,000 spread on that deal, $60,000 spread on that deal. So think about this, right? Windsor, Colorado. Would you pick Windsor, Colorado? No. But what's great about this whole pay-per-click advertising campaign and understanding it, it exposes these little tiny markets in these states that no one would target, and there's no competition, which is amazing. Well, that one made $60,000, and that's a great example of another deal that came in through this means of marketing. Now, I just gave you a couple handful of examples, but imagine if you got those in the last 12 months. That would make your year. That would make your year, you think? Right? Some people on that one deal doesn't even make $187,000, doesn't even make that in a year, right? On one deal that came in through pay-per-click advertising, right? This is what you're gonna learn, and this is how you're gonna learn how to do deals, right? In any market, your market you wanna be in, or market nationally, and literally, it's amazing. And with wholesaling, it makes it that much more exciting because you're essentially day trading properties. You're day trading properties, and that's what we do. All right, so let's get in next video and keep the fun going.